رمضان تجلى وابتسم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه وأمته أجمعين. Tarbiyah is essential for adults and especially for children. And we should learn how to do this tarbiyah for our young people, especially raising our children according to both Islamic values and living in the UK according to British values also. So raising children in a multicultural society such as Britain, it presents unique challenges and opportunities. Our parents must navigate the delicate balance between instilling Islamic values and integrating British societal norms. What is the concept of Tarbiyah in Islam? Tarbiyah, it refers to the holistic upbringing of children encompassing their spiritual, moral and intellectual and physical development. Regardless of which society we live in, this is very general. Now this Tarbiyah in Islam, it is rooted in the Quran, which is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the month of the Quran. So we should attempt to connect to the Quran and through the Quran to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month as much as we possibly can, especially try to learn the teachings of Islam and implement them in our daily lives, including the tarbiyah that the Quran tells us for our own selves and the tarbiyah for our children as well. So tarbiyah is rooted in the Quran and also in the Sunnah of the beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And it emphasizes the responsibility of parents to guide their children towards righteousness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the noble Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara wa quduha an-nasu wal hijara. Sadaqallahu al-azim. O believers, those of you who believe, O Muslims, protect yourselves, save yourselves and your families from a fire. Which fire is it? وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةِ. It is a fire whose fuel are people, humans, وَالْحِجَارَةِ, and stones. That is the fire of hell. And we are being commanded in the Quran to save ourselves and save our children and save our family members, especially from the fire of hell. How do we do that? Well, we teach them the Quran. We teach them the Sunnah. And we tell them what they must do, and we also tell them what they must not do according to the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah of the beloved sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. This is essential, especially in the environment that we are living in. Some aspects of that tarbiyah would include, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned, and the Quran speaks about it again and again, prayer. About ritual prayer, salah, 5 times per day. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, this is a hadith in Sunan Abi Dawood, Muru awladakum bis salati wa hum abna'u sab'i sinin. When your children are 7 years of age, you should command them, instruct them, teach them, and make sure they are performing the salah, prayer. So at that age, the training should be quite I wouldn't say intense, but it should be very much encouraged among our children in order for them to be praying regularly. The Prophet ﷺ also mentioned, this is a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, كُلُّ مَوْلُودٍ يُولَدُ عَلَى الْفِطْرَةِ. Every newborn child is born upon nature, فَأَبَوَاهُ يُهَوِّدَانِهِ أَوْ يُنَصِّرَانِهِ أَوْ يُمَجِّسَانِهِ. And it's the parents who change that. What is nature? Nature is knowing that Allah is one and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is natural. It's a natural thing. It is the parents' responsibility to continue reminding the children that this is nature and this is what we should be doing. This is our primary goal as parents, to be training, to giving tarbiyah to our young. And then the hadith says it is the parents who turn their children into Jews, who turn them into Christians, who turn them into fire worshippers, who turn them into idol worshippers, who turn them into atheists, who turn them into this or that. So the primary responsibility falls upon the shoulders of the parents. So the core Islamic values for tarbiyah, they include, among other things, Tawheed, believing in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also include akhlaq, good character, good morals, which include honesty, kindness, patience, respect for others. It also includes worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not worshipping yourself, not worshipping idols. So polytheism, atheism is not accepted in Islam. Also knowledge. To gain knowledge is one of the fundamental aspects of Islam. It is an obligation based upon many ayat of the Quran and many hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to promote the pursuit of both Islamic and secular knowledge, it's an obligation upon the parents to train our children to gain such knowledge, because it is going to help them in this world and especially in the next world. And on top of that, Islam also encourages community service. And so to teaching children to contribute positively to society. So community service does not mean just go and helping people and that's it. It means anything that will help to contribute positively to any society, especially to the society that we live in. So this starts off from the home, then it goes to the masjid, contributing to the masjid in a positive manner, and then contributing to our neighbors and contributing in our neighborhood and the society that we live in. With regards to British values, what does Islam say? Well, with regards to British values, we also have democracy, a form of democracy in Islam, and a different form of democracy in the British society. However, as far as the concept of democracy comes, it is more or less the same. The Quran says, وَأْمُرْهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ, and their affairs, this is a description of the Muslims, the believers, and their affairs are conducted through consultation among themselves. This is mentioned in the Quran. So in the British concept, we need to understand how decisions are made. We need to learn about elections and about voting, and we need to participate in discussions, not just classroom discussions, but also in discussions in the society, in the community. Councillors do that all the time, politicians do this all the time. Islam also encourages following the rule of law. In the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said, إِنَّمَا أَهْلَكَ الَّذِينَ قَبْلَكُمْ أَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا إِذَا سَرَقَ فِيهِمْ الشَّرِيفُ تَرَكُوهُ. That previously, the previous societies, they perished because there was injustice in society, that when the poor people, they would steal something or commit a crime, they would be punished. But when the wealthy committed a crime, they were let go, they were set free. In the British context, we need to understand that the consequences of our actions. That if we commit a crime, then we are punishable. Likewise, we need to follow the rules in school. We need to follow the rules in masjid, in madrasa. We need to follow the rules on the street, in the neighborhood. And if there are rules at home, we need to follow them as well. So this ties in with Islamic values. Also, there is individual liberty. In Islam, in the Quran, it says, La ikraha fid deen. There is no compulsion in the deen. We cannot force anyone to become Muslim. And when they are Muslim, we cannot force people to do certain things. And if they do good, then that is because they have a good character and they are practicing Islamic teachings. And if they do not do that, then that means they are going against Islamic teachings. So there are certain types of acts that cannot be forced. People cannot be forced to do them. Likewise, in the British context, making informed choices. It's a choice. It's a choice. However, if you make the wrong choice and do the wrong action, you are punishable. And also understanding personal rights for yourselves and rights for other people as well, and also to develop self-knowledge. So there are many concepts in British society and also in Islamic teachings that are very much in line with each other. This includes democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, mutual respect and tolerance. And there are many other things we can continue to talk about where Islam and Islamic teachings, they are in line with British values. And as some examples would include teaching respect for diversity, promoting civic responsibility, encouraging critical thinking, modeling good behavior. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ability to understand Islamic teachings based on the teachings we receive from the Quran and the Sunnah of the beloved sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, and also understand British values and how they align with Islamic values, and how we can practice them both without conflict, and how we can live according to British values without compromising our faith, and also live according to Islamic values without compromising our citizenship in the British environment or any other country where we live. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to be good to ourselves, to be good to others, so that we can be successful in this world and especially successful in the akhirah. Ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
رمضان